A raygun is a type of fictional directed energy weapon. They have various alternate names: ray gun, death ray, beam gun, blaster, laser gun, phaser, zap gun, etc. They are a well-known feature of science fiction. For such stories they typically have the general function of guns. In most stories, when activated, a raygun emits a ray, typically visible, usually lethal if it hits a human target, often destructive if it hits mechanical objects, with properties and other effects unspecified or varying. Real-life analogues are particle beam weapons or electrolasers, electroshock weapons which send current along an electrically conductive laser-induced plasma channel. History: a very early example of a raygun is the heat ray featured in H. G. Wells' novel The War of the Worlds. Science fiction during the 1920s described death rays. Early science fiction often described or depicted raygun beams making bright light and loud noise like lightning or large electric arcs. Nikola Tesla's attempts at developing directed energy weapons encouraged the imagination of many writers. Soon after the invention of lasers during 1960, such devices became briefly fashionable as a directed energy weapon for science fiction stories. For instance, characters of the Lost in Space TV series and of the Star Trek pilot episode The Cage carried handheld laser weapons. By the late 1960s and 1970s, as the laser's limits as a weapon became evident, rayguns were dubbed phasers, blasters, pulse rifles, plasma rifles, and so forth. In his book Physics of the Impossible, Michio Kaku used gamma-ray burst as an evidence to illustrate that extremely powerful rayguns like the one used to destroy a planet on Death Star in the Star Wars franchise do not violate known physical laws and theories. He further analyzes the problem of rayguns' power sources. Function: rayguns as described by science fiction do not have the disadvantages that have, so far, made directed energy weapons largely impractical as weapons in real life, needing a suspension of disbelief by a technologically educated audience. Rayguns draw seemingly limitless power from often unspecified sources. In contrast to their real-world counterparts, the batteries or power packs of even handheld weapons are minute, durable, and do not seem to need frequent recharging. Rayguns in movies are often shown as shooting discrete pulses of energy visible from off-axis, traveling slowly enough for people to see them emerge, or even for the target to evade them, although real-life laser light is invisible from off-axis and travels at the speed of light. This effect could sometimes be attributed to the beam heating atmosphere that it was passing through. A possible evasion tactic is dodging the firing axis of the gun, theorized in the early story of Mobile Suit Gundam by the character Char Azazel when he first encountered the series protagonist's machine's beam rifle and seemingly dodging it without any difficulty. Some of the effects are what would be expected from a powerful directed energy beam, if it could be generated in reality. Rayguns are often shown as transmitting heat, as with Wells' heat rays. Rayguns may be used to cut through hard materials like a blowtorch. But sometimes not. In movies, rays are often depicted as having effect instantaneously, with a touch of the beam sufficing for the intended purpose. Raygun victims are generally killed instantaneously, often as in the Star Wars films without showing visible wounds or even holes in their clothing. Some rayguns cause their targets to disappear entirely, personal equipment and all. Occasionally a raygun is shown as transmitting cold, as with the freeze rays in the TV series Batman and Underdog. Visible barrel recoil. This would only happen if the momentum of the beam were comparable to that of a bullet shot from a gun. A wide range of non-lethal functions is determined by the requirements of the story. For instance, they may stun, paralyze or knock down a target, much like modern electroshock weapons. Many of the more implausible functions are almost farcical and involve transmutation of matter, such as rayguns that age or de-age people, or shrink rays. Ultimately, rayguns have whatever properties are required for their dramatic purpose. They bear little resemblance to real-world directed energy weapons, even if they are given the names of existing technologies such as lasers, masers, or particle beams. This can be compared with real-type firearms as commonly depicted by action movies, as tending infallibly to hit whatever they are aimed at and seldom depleting their ammunition. Rayguns by their various names have various sizes and forms: pistol-like, two-handed, mounted on a vehicle, artillery-sized, mounted on a spaceship or space base or asteroid or planet. Rayguns have a great variety of shapes and sizes, according to the imagination of the story writers or movie prop makers. Most pistol rayguns have a conventional grip and trigger, but some do not. The shapes of some rayguns are influenced by an opinion that they look most effective and weapon-like if they look somewhat like real guns. Others, such as this, are not. The V-gun is treated as a Gatling gun pod in Macross, but as a laser when copied as Jetfire's gun in Transformers. Sometimes the end of the barrel expands into a shield, as if to protect the user from backflash from the emitted beam. Types: the following is a partial list of notable rayguns or types of rayguns mentioned in various science fiction scenarios. Blasters are the standard raygun of the Star Wars universe. Disruptors or disintegrator rays, weapons disruptive of the molecular structure of matter, are used in Star Trek and in Star Wars, among other works. Phasers are the standard raygun of the Star Trek universe. See also weapons of Star Trek. Plasma rifles, shooting bolts of very hot ionized gas, are described by many works of fiction. One well-known example is the BFG 9000 in the Doom video games. Pulse rifle is the name for a wide range of fictional weapons in various works. The ray is usually stated to be one of the following: laser, a real type of particle beam, for example protons and or neutrons from the proton packs in Ghostbusters; a fictional type of particle beam, such as Mianovsky particles in the Universal Century Gundam series scenario, where Mianovsky physics always operate. In the Mobile Suit Gundam 00 series, they use GN particles. And other timelines use other unknown particles. Nadians, in the well-known Star Trek phaser, Greek letter rays other than the well-known real-world alpha ray, beta ray, gamma ray. This includes delta rays and epsilon rays, which however have been given real-world meanings. Plasma. See also plasma rifle, defined by a word not known in real-world science, for example disruptor. Concussion beam, a generic term often applied to energy beams when the nature of the weapon is unknown. They are often non-lethal and only disable an opponent temporarily by knocking them out. They are often seen in television cartoons where realistic conventional weaponry is usually disallowed due to restrictions of violence. See blaster technology for an attempt at describing how a type of raygun works. Undefined, rayguns are often one-handed, sometimes two-handed, and often artillery-sized, fastened to a spaceship. Rayguns powered by a backpack power pack are described from time to time in science fiction. List of rayguns Alien film series, PIG plasma cannon, powered by a backpack power pack. Uses an electrolaser to create a magnetic containment bottle. Particle beam phalanx cannon sized. Babylon 5, PPG, also known as phased plasma gun. Battletech, battle mechs carry a wide variety of lasers, ether-beamed or pulsed. Blake's 7, Paragon Federation standard issue. Image here. More Federation kit images here. A pistol, Federation issue, image here. Blood and Blood 2, Tesla cannon, shoots electrical discharges, Captain Proton, blaster, a lethal white electric ray. Command & Conquer, Red Alert series, has a wide variety of weapons, as does Command & Conquer, Renegade, Command & Conquer, Tiberium Wars, T7, a Tiberium-fueled laser pulse, EW1, a laser beam, Skrin cannon, a beam of Tiberium particles. Commander Keen, wielded a red ray gun in the first game, Crash Bandicoot, raygun plasma of charged particles. Call of Duty, World at War and Call of Duty, Black Ops, have a raygun in Nazi zombie mode, and can be obtained in the campaign mission Little Resistance in World at War. Darwin's World, role-playing game, laser rifle, and DYAG laser, David Weber's novel Apocalypse Troll, blaster pulse of plasma. The day the Earth stood still, the alien visitor Clark's robotic bodyguard Gort had a disintegration beam which was shot from his eyes. It could disintegrate weapons as large as a tank, or a rifle in a soldier's hands, without injuring the soldier. Despicable Me, Minion Mayhem. The Minionizer minion ray gun is used to turn humans into minions. District 9. The film's protagonist Wikus uses an extremely powerful directed energy weapon that thoroughly destroys a human body on contact. Dr. Gridbort's infallible ether oscillators, ray guns utilizing infrawave undulation, and phlogiston overcharging amongst other pseudo-scientific concepts. Descent series, laser pistols, fusion cannon, Omega cannon, Doctor Who, Daleks guns, Ruby rays, Time Lord stasers, Silurion's ray guns, Doom, plasma rifle, BFG 9000, undefined. Dune, continuous wave laser projectors called lasguns exist but are rendered obsolete by the use of personal Holtzman shields. The interaction of a lasgun blast and this force field results in a nuclear explosion which typically kills both the gunner and the target, to say nothing of collateral damage. Subsequently, lasguns are mostly mounted on aircraft. Edison's Conquest of Mars, Disintegrator Ray, Fallout, Solar Scorcher, Alien Blaster, various laser, plasma and pulse weapons, Fascape, various weapons, FEAR Matram Type 7 particle weapon plasma, First Contact by Murray Leinster. Blasters are described as follows. The blasters are those beams of ravening destruction which take care of meteorites in a spaceship's course when the deflectors cannot handle them. They are not designed as weapons, but they can serve as pretty good ones. Forbidden Planet, Hand Blasters and Larger Blasters, the Foundation series, original trilogy, blaster high-powered nuclear particles, shattering the target. Foundation models were seen to cause extensive damage to the surroundings, like shattering the wall behind the target. Prequels, blaster weaker. Certain models have been known to kill without producing visible damage. Sequels, microwave gun. Free Space 2, photon beam cannons, Ghostbusters, proton pack, particle beam, Filmation's Ghostbusters, the dematerializer, disintegrator beam. Grider-linked, pulse gun, various types of fire mode, Gundam, Universal Century series, mega beam cannons, Mianovsky particles. Half-life, the Gloon gun, a disintegration ray, and the Tau cannon, Halo, various plasma weapons, hammer slammers, power gun, a plasma pulse, the hyperboloid of Engineer Garren, Hyperboloid, a highly concentrated collimated light beam weapon, the Hyperion Cantos, Death Wonder laser-like beam weapon, Independence Day, City Destroyer Ray, James Bond, Moonraker laser beam. James Bond 007, Nightfire Phoenix International Experimental Laser Rifle, Kingdom Hearts 2, Gun Arrow, bullet-like laser beams. Freezes in mid-air before homing in on the target, Kingdom of Loathing MMORPG, Toy Ray Gun, Laser Beam, The Librarian, Quest for the Spear, Tesla's legendary Death Ray, Lucky Star series, blasters small slugs which on impact turn a fraction of their mass into energy. Mars Attacks, both the cards and movie feature alien weapons used by the Martians capable of disintegrating human animal flesh, and on some occasions, terrestrial weapons and devices. Metroid, various, see items in the Metroid series, Might and Magic 7, for Blood and Honor, typical blasters, similar to disintegrator guns, near the end of the game, created by the Ancients. Perry Rodan, shows a rifle-shaped raygun, and a pistol in its holster. Phantom Crash, Scoobies or mechs carry ether shoulder or arm-mounted lasers. Predator, Plasma Custer, see Predator technology. Quake, BFG 10K, Plasma, Resistance, Fall of Man, Augur similar to Half-Life 2's Ossipur, Return to Castle Wolfenstein, Tesla gun, a multi-targeting electric shotgun, Robotech, Reflex Cannon, Sky Captain and the World of Tomorrow, an unnamed ray gun firing glowing rings is used by Dex. Stargate, Staff Weapon, a yellow plasma bolt, Inter, a red ball of energy, Cull Disruptor, a blue blast, Zat, a blue electrical discharge. Stubbs the zombie in Rebel without a pulse, Raygun, a red-blue bullet of energy, Laser Shotgun, a steady blue beam of energy, Laser RPG, a swirling mass of red and white energy. Super Smash Bros. Series, Raygun Plasma, Star Trek, see Weapons of Star Trek, Star Wars, Blaster. See Blaster, which describes it in detail, but with unreal physics. Various weapons, see List of Star Wars ranged weapons. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, traditional laser guns, carried by Bebop and Rocksteady. Terminator, beam weapons, total annihilation, may be a traditional laser, or may use coherent meson or pseudo-boson beams instead. Plasma cannon, Bumble. Transformers, plasma cannon, Bumblebee's secondary weapon, UFO, enemy unknown. Laser pistols, laser rifles, heavy laser, Ultraman franchise. In each successive series in the franchise, the series Science Patrol carry a multitude of raygun and raygun-like weapons. Of particular note are the Supergun, a folding weapon which shoots an electrical ray, and the Mars 133, a more powerful variant capable of unleashing large explosions upon contact with the opponent. Unreal Tournament 2004, Lightning Gun and Electrolaser, V, Shock Rifle and Pistol, unknown. Warhammer 40,000 Numerous Imperial laser weapons, War of the Worlds, the Martians use a heat ray, various, plasma rifle. Gallery. Real-world development, Radar is the result of attempts to develop rayguns before WWII. CBS in their show 60 Minutes showed a real weapon described as a raygun. This video of it shows that it is most likely the active denial system. Recent real developments of laser guns have produced artillery-sized weapons which might be described as rayguns, but usually are not. See electrolaser for an electric current sent through a laser beam. See directed energy weapon for various real weapons which are more or less like rayguns. See directed energy weapon Tesla for reports that Tesla made a real directed energy weapon. Distinguish from equals. The Raytech laser heat gun is a non-contact infrared thermometer, not a gun. See also. References. External links, Atomic Rocket, descriptions and technology and many images of handguns and rifle-sized guns used in space including rayguns. The Virtual Raygun Exhibition, computer-generated raygun art by various artists.